Hey, Carlos Lago here with Edmunds, and that's a 2021 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. What's that long combination of names and letters and numbers mean? Well, currently this is the ultimate expression of a mid-engine sports car that you can get from Porsche. It uses racy suspension hardware, sticky tires, big brakes, and a high-revving, naturally aspirated engine. It cares very little about anything else than going fast and having a great time, which, come to think of it, reminds me of college. Anyway, in this video, we're going to explain the parts that make this car, and most importantly, how much fun it is from behind the wheel. If you like videos like this one, let us know in the comments below. Also, click like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Check out the links in the description for more information, and also visit edmunds.com/sellmycar to get an instant cash offer on your car. Why are the expectations so high for this Cayman GT4? Well, there are two major factors involved. The first is the name, and the second is the price. The GT name is something Porsche enthusiasts take very seriously, and Porsche too. You've probably heard of the 911 GT3, the 911 GT2 maybe, or the Carrera GT. They just don't put GT on any old car. And this GT4 acts as sort of the entry point into the GT pantheon. I promise I'll stop saying GT so much. Anyway, the second thing that people will probably recognize more is the price. The GT4 starts at $40,000 more than a base Cayman. It roughly equals the price of a Porsche 911. This one, as it's equipped, costs roughly $130,000. That's a lot of money. Just one quick caveat though, this specific car is a European spec version with the optional Club Sport package that we don't get in the US, so you'll just have to ignore the bolted on roll cage in the back. But let's take a look at some of the other parts on this car. Why is this car so expensive? Let's start by talking about the chassis. Overall, it's about an inch lower than a regular Cayman, but more impressively, it borrows a number of features from the 911 GT3, a car that I personally like a lot. You get the same brakes and literally the same front suspension too. Keeping with the motorsports inspiration, let's say, are a number of adjustable features, from the anti-roll bars to the ride height and even the rear wing. Now, the wheels are 20 inches in diameter, front and rear, 8.5 inches wide up front, 11 inches wide in the rear, and they're wrapped with Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, which have a ton of traction, and that improves everything from acceleration to handling to braking. Speaking of the brakes, these are the optional $8,000 carbon ceramic brakes, which add just massive over 16-inch diameter rotors up front with 6-piston calipers. That's a lot of braking performance, and combined with these tires, there's a lot that you can explore there, and I'd be surprised if you could find the limits of, considering how light this vehicle was on our scales. As for the centerpiece of the GT4, it's here-ish, and it's a real shame you can't actually see it. But first, explaining why the engine is important requires some history. When the Cayman came out, this generation of the Cayman came out in 2016, the engine was a turbocharged 4-cylinder that was powerful and fuel efficient, and in my opinion, the worst part about the car, because it was noisy and coarse, and you didn't really want to rev it out, which is the exact opposite of what you should expect from a Porsche Cayman. This, though, has a 4-liter flat 6 with 400 horsepower roughly and some amount of torque, but more importantly, an 8,000 RPM redline. That's a beautiful thing. The transmissions are, of course, a 6-speed manual, or, like this car, a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, and of course you get a limited slip differential as well. Now let's talk about what it's like to actually drive the thing. Before we get started driving this Cayman, I would just like to say this is literally my first time driving the GT4. So you're gonna see a very honest reaction to what it's like behind the wheel. Let's get started. Okay. Yep. Yep. Oh boy. That is delightful. That is just delightful. Okay, I would just like to start out and say it's a real shame that I have to actually talk to the camera while doing this. because this is just tremendous. Okay, so let's talk about the engine first, because I thought that would be the most impressive thing out of this platform. That 4-liter 6-cylinder, it does make the right sound. It's doing what I want a Cayman to do. It sounds the way I want a Cayman to sound. It's exciting as it starts going through its power band. The closer you get to redline, the sweeter it sounds. I'll be honest to say it's not the best sounding Porsche 6-cylinder ever, but it is such a nice upgrade. And the way that power swells with the engine speed as that moves up too is just tremendous. It makes the experience of approaching redline that much more exciting. And that's what driving a sports car like this should be all about. It's that race to the next gear as you navigate corners. This is a quick car. It has not so much a ton of power, but it's a light car. And that means it's able to accelerate rapidly, but not overwhelm you with acceleration. I feel like I can manage this speed. It's not more response with acceleration than I can take care of from behind the wheel. This is balanced wonderfully, and not just in the ride quality sense, but in the power delivery sense, and that relationship between the ride and the engine response. You hear that phrase, harmonious, and that's truly the experience you're having here. Well, that's delightful. So let's talk about ride handling, steering, because that, to be honest, is what I'm feeling the most out of this. The engine is just sort of the icing on that cake. The Cayman has always had those really magical handling properties, really good performance, really exciting feel from the steering wheel, from the handling and all that. And this elevates those responses without giving you more speed than you know what to do with, or at least the speed that it's delivering, you have the sense of control through confidence behind the wheel, through traction from the tires, through incredible braking performance. There's a linearity between my inputs and the feedback that from the car that just feels so nicely balanced. And the way this accelerates out of a corner just feels so sweet. I could do this all day. When it comes to numbers, yeah, this is fast. It goes very quick in a straight line. We've measured that. It stops very short in an emergency situation. We've measured that. It generates lots of lateral G. We've measured that. But the thing that you can't put a number on is the satisfaction you get behind a wheel, because if you could, you need a chart with an awfully tall ceiling. I always knew the Cayman could be like this, and it always had the handling and the steering to make you feel like you were driving something truly special. Now that those parts are even better, and now that there's an engine there that truly delivers the excitement that this car always deserved, it makes this GT4 feel like a very, very special thing. Just the way this goes into a corner and you power out, you can trust that when you power out, the traction will be there, that it'll get you out of the corner smoothly. Oh, the way this must feel around a curvy mountain road or a racetrack just has to be the best. I'm in love. I'm absolutely in love. Such that I don't mind these bucket seats. Such that I don't mind this car doesn't have remote entry or dual zone climate control. It just has a gauge that says cold or hot. This is terrific. Just terrific. I may not have given the most succinct feedback while driving this car, but I'll just say that's a sign of how pleasurable driving this car quickly is. I don't want to talk about all the nuance or subtleties of driving because I was so enraptured in how this car drives. That's beautiful.
Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful.
The Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 is a truly special car, and it's not just because of any individual component. It's not just that engine or the racy suspension or those sticky tires or massive and very expensive brakes. No, it's the combination of everything working in concert. It's a mechanical symphony, if you will, even though that does sound kind of cheesy. But honestly, this car in total does what all of us would expect a sports car to do when we think of our ideal sports car. Now, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and click like, and then click subscribe. Check out the links in the description for more information. And also visit edmunds.com/sellmycar to get an instant cash offer on your car.